anyone who beats the game before the end of this year has a chance to win a platinum ticket to play Crunch Labs in real life for a day.
I'm not ready for
an
this.
actual version of the rockets which you designed in the game. Use CrunchLabs.com/Roblox with the parents to learn how to enter, or you can just play the game Build a Rocket for free on Roblox, because I'll actually be there playing myself a bunch, and I can't wait to see the super clever ideas that you come up with. Thanks for watching.
Change my keybinds real quick. So what I'm gonna do is change my
This is a bird feeder, and everything to my left is my attempt at making it scroll. If they want the bird seed, they will first need to pass through what is basically an 8-part Ninja Warrior obstacle course for squirrels. This course is extremely challenging. It is not for the timid of heart. But out of the gate, I will admit that in hindsight, that I completely underestimated my adversary. Now, if you're wondering why I would go through all this trouble, we need to go back 8 weeks ago when I found myself stuck at home and very bored. So I installed a bird feeder and decided to become a bird watcher. And it was just so lovely. Until they showed up. Now luckily my bird feeder had a wire cage around it, big enough for the birds to slip inside, but small enough to prevent the squirrels from getting the food. And that worked really well until right here. For me, this was like the moment in Jurassic Park when they realized the velociraptors could open door handles. And once the door was open, it was clear this wasn't their first rodeo. They basically cleared this whole tube of birdseed by the end of the day. Mind you, this bird feeder was advertised as being squirrel-proof, so I bought another squirrel-proof bird feeder to replace it. It's got this outer cage suspended by some springs, and so if a bird comes and lands here, it doesn't weigh that much, and it has access to the seeds. However, if a squirrel comes, they'll grab onto this cage, its weight will force the springs down, thereby preventing access to the seeds. I have no idea how the squirrels could possibly outsmart this, but let's see. And this will work exactly as intended. You can see the birds love it, but when the squirrel comes along, the cage shifts down, and now all the seed ports are covered up. Every time they tried, it was the same results. However, the next morning, this guy manages to unclip the springs that hold the cage up, which means the cage stays in the lowered position where it blocks all the seed openings. Problem with that is now they can get to the lid. But this bird feeder doesn't hinge open to give direct access, so he goes with a different tactic. Where he now has access to all the birdseed he wants. And so I decided I would try one more bird feeder design. Okay.
Bloodbath challenge.
Wow. It almost feels intentional at this point. This one's supposed to work well because it's got this bath, which is supposed to keep the squirrels from just coming straight down and getting the seeds. And more importantly, there's no way for them to rip this off. We'll see. This one debuted to similar results. As he hangs by a few toes, this is when I really started to gain appreciation for what they're capable of. It definitely seemed like this bird feeder was their favorite. Okay. Yeah,
1738.
And at this point, a plan was forming in my head, but just to be thorough, I moved the post away from the fence, and I can't say I was surprised when they just climbed it. Nor was I surprised to see they could shimmy up and down a small metal pole, or even a large one for that matter. And whether they could climb a certain pole material was a moot point anyways because of this. Look at this! These guys are basically freaking Roman-sized Simone bales. And on some level, this is what I felt like when someone sent a package from my porch that didn't belong to them. And I harnessed that indignation, spending a year designing the glitter bomb bait package, complete with special fragrances. If I could design a package to deter thieves, could I design a bird feeder to deter squirrels? And so after a couple weeks of brainstorming, designing, and building with my buddy John, we put it all together in this 20-second build montage. Here are the basic elements. For starters, here's where I'd place their favorite bird feeder. At the end of the course, and to sweeten the deal, right below that, there's a trap door. And if they step here, it releases a butt ton of walnuts and unfurls some celebratory banners. Why walnuts? I'm glad you asked. I'm using walnuts because over the course of a week, I put out a buffet of 7 different nuts and seeds. And all 4 times I repeated the experiment, walnuts were always the one they ate first. What's great about placing this here is it levels the playing field, as the birds can fly up and get as much food as they want anytime they need it. The squirrels, however, will have to work for it. The only way to make it to this platform is if they work their way through my
I couldn't even read it.
obstacle course, which all starts right here. This is the only platform on the course that has a pole that isn't covered in slippery stuff, which means this is where they have to climb up to enter the course.
Oh my
if they try
God.
to get up any other way, they can't keep a good
Oh,
grip,
this is gonna
and
take
then
a
they slide
long
back
time.
down. So the first challenge is the bridge of instability. Now this may look
Because
easy,
this
but
is
the trick is it attaches at a
top
single point on each end.
110 on the
From a physics
ILL.
standpoint, that makes it no different than trying to crawl across a tightrope. It's the same deceptive
So basically just saying that,
carnival game that's so impossible.
asking for a
I
death
broke it
wish.
down in another video where his physics
Oh my
show
God.
which carnival games are basically scams and the science behind them. Next up, the maze of 1,000 corridors. This one's a bit more cerebral, but if they make it through that, it will bring them to the pitchfork tumblers, which are inspired by the show Wipeout. But unlike Wipeout, I should point out that all these contraptions are squirrel friendly, and even with a little back force, they will break away and stop spinning. Now, if they can make it past the pitchfork tumblers of treachery, they come to one of my personal favorites, the home record. I put her in an attempt to score the most focus on the real prize at the end of the course. Because this pad has a pressure sensor underneath it, and it connects to a microcontroller that has a relay that connects to a solenoid that connects to a pneumatic piston that connects back to this platform with the pressure sensor. And so if they stand here for more than 3 seconds,
0.5.
they've got
Not
to start
even
the course all over.
0.15.
Next up is this slinky bridge of deception.
Not even.
I've suspended a juicy walnut
Yeah, that's
right in the
how
middle.
hard this
There's
is.
no way this bridge will support their weight, so it'll
I
be
mean,
interesting to see
but
how they approach it.
like,
The sixth
damn.
challenge is called the tourist trap. It's actually a bit of a reward for making it this far. If the squirrel sticks their head through the board my wife painted, it's just a photo op they can hang on the wall of their tiny squirrel nest. I'll place a walnut here as an incentive for them not to miss this unique opportunity. The penultimate challenge are the quad steps of great elevation. This is taken straight from Ninja Warrior, and this is super tricky because these pads are all totally smooth and placed at a 45-degree incline. And now for the last challenge. At this point, they are a mere few feet away from their ultimate goal. But if they're not careful, they'll have to deal with the orbital assist platform, aka the final countdown, aka it's not a catapult.
Am I gonna have to no-clip
it's a
this?
squirrel pulse. Which means they now have to go back and start all the way.
I'm gonna have to no-clip it, aren't
Now,
I?
if they want to avoid that fate, they just need to stand on this pad for less than 3 seconds. But once again, I've placed a diversion here. This one projects an optical illusion of anything you place at the bottom of this dish. It's actually super trippy and looks even more impressive in real life because the projected image is 3D. They're like 9 books on Amazon, and I put a link that explains the juicy physics of how they work in the video description. Now, with regards to squirrel safety, I know I seem to have this reputation of
0.05.
improvised high-speed projectiles, and so this one might worry a few animal lovers out there, including my wife. We have 5 pets and 1 child, and the child was the only one I had to say. So rest assured, I can adjust the pressure on the piston, and we'll be staying way below any launch force that could hurt any of our adorable backyard contestants. And so finally, after making it through all that, we're back here at the world's most satisfying bird feeder. As far as I'm concerned, if they make it here, they've earned the right to gorge next to the birds for as long as they want. And so after nearly a month of prep work, the course was officially open for business. They could smell the walnuts at the final station, and you could see the gears turning, because right above that was their favorite bird feeder. And so before long, we had our first contender.
Wait. Oh, man. How am I gonna bot this? Like, what? Wait, let's go Realm of Original.
That didn't exactly go as planned, so Rick decides to return. Speaking of which, that's Rick. There are a total of 4 competitors that will be attempting the course. First up is Rick, and he weighs 500 grams. I know this because he's actually standing on a custom-made scale. Rick is very clever, as you'll see here in a minute, but he also gets spooked easily. Next up is Marty. He's basically indistinguishable from Rick. Rick and Marty are inseparable and pretty much spend all their time together as a pair. Our third contender is Frank, also coming in around 500 grams. He's very gutsy. He's also kind of dumb. Finally, we've got my personal favorite, Fat Gus. He's just really charming and will strike a pose if he sees a camera. He also really likes to eat, and he tips the scales at an impressive 800 grams. While most of the squirrels are kind of particular
800 grams for
selection and then gracefully leaping away, Fat Gus just goes
lot.
for it. Hands free.
Sure, no, that
just
is a
makes
lot.
himself real comfortable. Here he is laying out with a light snack from the bird feeder. I mean, you can't fault the guy for just clearly appreciating a good meal. So now that you know our 4 contenders, let's get back to Rick. So he hops back on, and he's actually doing better than his first attempt. Just barely. This is the best because he's like, okay, I got this. Never. Well, maybe I definitely do. And this was the exact moment I realized I just might be outmatched here. Marty was watching Rick, and after a quick dip of his toes in the water, adopts his strategy right out of the gate. Oof, so close.
Oh,
But
that
an
was
excellent recovery.
it too.
And Fat Gus, perhaps predictably, comes up a little short. Which brings us to the Maze of 1,000 Corridors. Which, to be honest, they mastered this one pretty quickly. Here's a solid run from Fat Gus. And now for the pitchfork tumblers and treachery.
Boom.
Marty was like,
And we're in.
yeah, that's a hard pass. Fat Gus is just like, abort! Frank is just like, nope. Then he's like, wait a second. Still nope. Then Marty flies in real hot over the top. He didn't make it through, but that's partial credit as far as I'm concerned. And then here's Fat Gus with my favorite attempt by far. And then Frank shows no fear, which helps him pull up this new flawless
I
run.
swear that
And
sounds like
finally,
the Roku
Smart
sound
Rick
effect in the
surgically weaves his way
music.
through,
What the
essentially
fuck?
untouched. And I should mention, the
2%
schools are
in.
most active from 6 to 10 a.m. So every morning I've been getting up before the sunrise to start filming from in my house like one of those camouflage nature photographers. Only like a suburbanized version. I also had a handful of streaming cameras rolling 24/7, which has allowed me to make such discoveries as
Wait,
we have the world's worst haircut.
I'm stupid.
Thanks for the help, pal. Now back to the homewrecker. You can see Rick is instinctively suspicious of this gold digger, and only for a brief moment puts his full weight on the platform. I told you he was
Start
smart.
botting
His buddy
it.
Marty, on the other hand,
Record the macro. Oh my god, there's no way I forgot
is a
to start
clueless
recording
mistress.
the macro.
and because I know my wife is going to ask me, no, this will not hurt the squirrel for 2 reasons. Number 1, they are amazing like cats and always land on their feet. And 2, they themselves were jumping from this height all the time, and in some cases, much higher. In fact, squirrels are one of the few mammals that can survive a fall from any height because they make their terminal velocity so low. You can see it right here. They make their body as flat as possible, then put their tail back to increase drag. They basically become their own parachute. And then right before they land, they pull in and fully extend their arms and legs to act as shock-absorbing landing gear. This is so cool. Now back to the course where even Smart Rick eventually lets his guard down, which is exactly what she says. But just like all the other obstacles so far, after a day or 2, they've mastered it. In this case, even disregarding their offering of a fresh walnut. Now on to the Slinky Bridge of Deception, and this was the sleeper obstacle in my book. That is not a large gap, which they can easily jump, but having the Slinky there just threw them off somehow. You can see how much Frank equivocates here, and he's the brave one. And Rick only jumps when Marty shows up for emotional support. But like all the obstacles so far, after a day or 2, they've mastered it. Now on to our third to last obstacle, the tourist trap. And this one was just a freaking delight. A little peanut butter really did the trick here.
I feel like this part is
Now here comes Fat
straight
Gus.
possible.
How Fat Gus
Like,
is this?
fully.
He sees the camera and he's like, "Hey,
top
what a
one
fish."
gameplay, but
Yeah.
possible.
No.
I feel like Zoink could do this.
Here's
Like,
another
this is the type of
classic
shit
Gus
Zoink
where he
could
looks
do.
at the camera. Wait a second. Play that back. And freeze. Zoom. Enhance. Well, turns out Fat Gus is not a dude, and he's pregnant, which meant I was suddenly feeling real uncomfortable about all those weight comments. So after a bit of a pivot to smooth things over, we soldiered on to the quad steps of great elevation. Frank comes in rather confident, almost to his demise. But he pulls
The
off
fat
this
Gus was a woman? Oh my god.
So after not much time at all, they were looking pretty good here. In fact, one
tight.
morning I noticed Marty totally skipped the last step altogether, which I took as a challenge, and so I removed the middle step to see what they would do. And who else but Fantastic Gus? Let's slow that down a bit. They're such amazing jumpers, so I suppose the quick master here wasn't a surprise. I mean, this right here is probably a 10-foot jump. And here's some classic brave but dumb Frank. He'd already entered the course normally and made it to the home wrecker at least a dozen times by this point. And yet for some reason, he decides his 12-foot jump is his best course of action. Smart Rick was the first one to enter the course, so in the end, after about a week of effort, it was fitting he was the one to make it to the jackpot first. And he's so stoked, he apparently wants to run the whole course in reverse. In hindsight, we probably should have made the jackpot a little quieter. Here's Marty, as always,
like this
not
is
far
100% possible. You know, it's possible. It's on the ILL, so that means it's
He's also a bit flighty, as you know, which worked against him here, because down below Fantastic Gus,
humans not beating that hard.
comes through with a real stroke of brilliance. But pretty soon Marty comes back
But it's
like,
not on the
I'm the one
top
who had it.
100,
And then
so it
Fantastic
might
Gus is like,
be
you snoozy
possible.
little sucker. And what I just say, Fantastic Gus, when you sit
In
like that, you don't
2050.
look an ounce over 700 grams. Eventually they learned that sound was a good thing, and then quickly returned for their reward before Fantastic Gus got the ideas. So here's a single camera shot of a full run, and by the end all of them could do the full course in less than 40 seconds. And while we're watching, you might be wondering what happened to the squirrel upload. Unfortunately, they didn't really fall for my illusion much, but I'm about to show you the 2 times they did. As promised to my wife, I turned the pressure to only 40% full power, so the acceleration the squirrel would feel is about half a G, which is 10 times less than a typical roller coaster. Additionally, I never turned on either the home wrecker trapdoor or the launch platform when I wasn't actively watching from inside my house, where I had a manual override button.
What?
Because as safe as it was, something about
transition
launching
is
Fantastic Gus just didn't feel right. Now what you're about to
What
see
a
is going to be
terrible
pretty chaotic, but when you
transition.
check the slow-mo,
Oh my
amazingly,
God,
I'll show you how the squirrel is totally in control pretty much the
Oh
whole
my
time.
god. No.
Alright, now here's a second angle. Also,
Bro.
even if you don't trust my calculations, I can assure you that the squirrels did not care. In both launch cases, they were back up on the course in like 5 minutes. Here's the slow-mo. See if you can spot the 2 critical things
no.
he does
Yeah.
to make sure he lands feet
Made it.
down. Did you catch it? The first critical moment is right here. He's already done the predictive math, and he's locked his head on the spot where he plans to land. And now his head will lock on that spot the whole way down. What's crazy is the time it takes him to do all the predictive
8%.
math to know exactly where he will land and to lock his head is 300 milliseconds. That's exactly this long, literally less than the blink of an eye. That blows my mind, but if you think about it, it makes sense these reactions would have evolved to be razor sharp if you live your life in the trees, constantly making split-second decisions. And besides picking a landing spot with his head, the second
You're
trick is
not
with his arms.
multi-active.
When he wants to keep his upper body from rotating, he has his arms out. But the moment he wants to
I
rotate
like
his
it
upper
when
body
it's
quickly, he tucks them in.
multi-active.
And then when he wants to stop
Deal with
rotating,
this
he extends them out
shit.
again. This is straight up conservation of angular momentum. It's the same trick ice skaters use. Basically, bring your limbs in if you want to rotate fast, extend them out if you want to slow the rotation. My buddy Destin from Smarter Everyday also made a video analyzing how cats always land on their feet, and they do the exact same 2 tricks. The head target lock and bringing limbs in to rotate and out to stop rotation. Here's the second launch. So this may look like pure luck in real time, but the slow-mo tells a different story. In that amount of time, he's already made a slight lateral push in that direction and locked his landing target with his head.
Okay, so
We know
that
from the
is...
previous clip he can rotate his body to any orientation, but he doesn't in this case because he sees his small push is
that's
already
dead.
lined up for the
What?
perfect
Okay.
landing. That's just so cool. And so after those 2 physics demonstrations, I disabled both the launcher and the home wrecker trapdoor and just let them enjoy the course in peace. As far as I was concerned, they had earned it. Plus, after spending a month together, we were sort of bros by this point. If they saw me coming out to work, they would certainly jump away, but then they'd just quickly be right back. And sadly, all good things must come to an end, and because I didn't want them to develop an unhealthy dependence on my handouts, after about a week of free reign, I took down the course. But in its place, I put up a specialized squirrel-sized picnic table. Every morning, this door opens to release just a few walnuts as a little treat to remind them of our good times together. Although I had to laugh that after all this, somehow I didn't anticipate on day one, Frank would immediately try and figure out and partially succeed in finding a way to beat the system. Like everything else though, they quickly caught on, and now on some mornings I'll catch them just waiting for the daily ration, chilling patiently on the bench seat. That is everyone but Fantastic Gus. Don't ever change, buddy. When I started this 2-month-long adventure trying to birdwatch, I had no idea I would enjoy squirrel watching so much more. It's also made me realize that even amongst the structures of pavement and power lines, how interesting nature can be in a single suburban backyard if you just really stop to look. Even the plants are amazing. I had no idea that as vines grow, they spin around looking for something to grab onto. I didn't anticipate the wide variety of animals that use fences as inner-yard highways to get around as a substitute for all the trees that existed before we got here. Even little interactions like this spider extending his life with this very timely leap into the unknown were just so delightful to see. But of all the animals, I can definitively say now that squirrels are my absolute favorite, and they're certainly a more formidable adversary than porcupines. They're kind of adorable, incredibly crafty, curious by nature, athletic, and persistent. Turns out squirrels can live to be 20 years old, and so I like to think that someday Fantastic Gus will bring his grand squirrels to the fence and regale them with tales of cowboys and courage and legendary walnut piles.
Why is this part free? Look at these airboxes, that's free.
This is me reclaiming my title for the world's largest and tallest elephant toothpaste experiment. And this is a totally different kind of reaction we discovered in all our experimentation called Devil's Toothpaste, which is insanely reactive and super dangerous. I'll explain why in a minute, but for now, here's a hint. And if you look closely in both shots, I'm not holding the trigger. This kid is. In fact, that kid was the whole reason we were there at all, because this was a culmination of 8 months of planning to throw him the most epic birthday party ever. And all of this started inadvertently from a single surprise phone call. This is Fletcher, and this is also Fletcher a year before this call, but unbeknownst to everyone at the time, also pictured here under all that amazing hair was a fast-growing brain tumor. They eventually realized something was wrong and discovered it was a dangerous form of brain cancer so rare he was only the 6th kid ever known to have had it. So his family uprooted their lives for a year and moved almost 1,000 miles to be closer to St. Jude, where they removed the tumor and would try and fix his brain. In fact, our call was the night before he was going back in for another brutal week of chemo. He's such a funny kid, and I was so inspired by his hopeful attitude that after talking for an hour, I secretly vowed that if he made it to 13 years old, I would fly him and his family out and surprise him with just the dopest birthday party ever. And not long after, I texted Fletcher this picture. So he knew we had closely matching hairstyles, but what he didn't know is that plans were already underway for him and I to take back the record for the world's largest elephant toothpaste. And as a quick refresher, last summer, my buddy Science Bob and I set the world record for elephant toothpaste by filling up an empty swimming pool. I wanted to be able to swim in the foam afterwards, so we figured out how to use yeast as the catalyst, which is in fact safer, but it doesn't react very fast. And our video seemed to inspire some folks, because 2 months later, this happened in David Dobrik's backyard, where they didn't bother with the yeast and just took the normal reaction and scaled it up a bunch. But then a few weeks later, these guys in Brazil did the largest experiment yet, and they are the current Guinness World Record holders. And so even though Fletcher's birthday was still 8 months out, we started our testing right away, because I knew blasting a world record amount of foam straight up into the sky wasn't as easy as it might sound. And the part that concerned me the most was picking the right nozzle size. And here's what I mean. These three containers are identical except for the diameter of their outlets. If that diameter is too large, it looks kind of cool, but it doesn't really go that high. Too small, and it will go high, but it just looks like confetti and doesn't look that impressive. But for every container, there's a Goldilocks size diameter opening that gives you that cool laminar looking flow while still going pretty high. And you might think, well, why don't you just take a typical flask that works so well and just scale all the dimensions up? And we tried that on our first 5-foot scale test. And just as I feared, it went all confetti on us. And the problem is illustrated here. If you want to scale up and double all the dimensions of the block, you get this. It's perfect. All these dimensions increased exactly by a factor of 2. But wait a sec, the volume increased by a factor of 8. This is called the square cube law, and its effects are everywhere in nature, such as putting a hard limit on just how big land animals can be. Because how heavy you are is a function of your volume, but the strength of your muscles and bones is a function of their cross-sectional area. So since animals evolved to get heavier by the power of 3, but stronger by only the power of 2, at some point it's just too much. So in the next 5-foot test, we increased the top diameter by a mere 3.5 inches. But now the pendulum swung too far the other way because while the column looked smooth, it didn't really go that high. And so finally for the third test, we let the pendulum swing back just a tad and shave down that diameter by just over an inch to try and dial in that Goldilocks outlet size. And sure enough, the column went really high and looked great. But this test uncovered another issue. With such a high volume of foam, the pressure was creating some really high forces in the flask. I mean,
we're a fifth
that's a lot of damage, which, quite frankly, left us with only one option. And so with the power of flex tape, we scaled things up even further to a 10-foot test and did our best to interpolate that Goldilocks outlet size.
Yes, okay. Now I can place a checkpoint since I'm at 20. I want to get a singular percent.
So once again, the outlet size worked great, but our joint construction wasn't prepared for the further scaled up forces. In fact, scored a fat W for the flex tape, where you can see it single-handedly held the thing together, even as the screws and wood busted through. And we were realizing we just had to make the structure so over-engineered and indestructible, so the only option for the foam to escape the high pressure would be going out the top. And so while that wasn't a perfect result, I felt like we learned enough from all of our failures to design it strong enough for the final 20-foot world record. In the end, we ran over 150 tests, not only to determine the right scaled up flask dimensions, but things like, does neck length have an effect? What happens if you vary the soap amount? What effect do different brands of food coloring have? All of these tests were really insightful, but perhaps the most interesting finding was stumbling upon something I've affectionately named Devil's Toothpaste. Now you might be thinking, Devil's Toothpaste? That seems a bit extreme, Mark, but allow me to demonstrate. This is a shoebox full of the standard formula of hydrogen peroxide, sodium iodide, and soap that pretty much everyone uses to make elephant toothpaste. Now here's the same volume of reactants, only this time using Devil's Toothpaste. Now see if you can spot the difference in real time. Not only is it hyperreactive, but the reaction is much hotter, so you get these really cool bubble formations. Here's one more. Once again, this is normal elephant's toothpaste in an Erlenmeyer flask. No big deal, people have been doing this for years. But once again, here's the same volume of reactants, now only with Devil's Toothpaste. And given how explosive this is, this may be irresponsible of me, but while we watch the replay, I'll tell you exactly how to make it. You start with 2016. Once that mixes, you're going to for a Winfrey. Put a torch on the leftover rabbit fur, and you're good to go. And so by taking some rigorous safety precautions, we also intended to set the first and therefore only world record for the world's largest Devil's Toothpaste experiment by filling 6 55-gallon drums with 400 times the amount that broke the flask here. And so after 150 tests and 8 months of work, feeling much more confident about our build plans and chemistry, we packed everything up and made our way to the small farming town of Gridley, California. We chose Gridley because our family friend Dale graciously agreed to let us use his land, which is full of hundreds of acres of walnut trees. No, don't even think about it, Fat Gus. He also had a great backyard we could
Go,
make
fat
use
guy.
of. And so with only 4 days left till Fletcher was flying out for the party, we got to work on a 20-second film montage.
That sounds like a tax evasion song. Tax evasion in a Mark
And it
Grover
took
video.
4 consecutive 14-hour back-breaking
Mark
days
Grover
of labor in
teaches
the
you
hot
how to
sun.
do
Because with
tax
so much time to
evasion.
plan the most epic birthday party ever, I just kept adding more and more ideas to the list we would need to pull off. So in addition to building the indestructible 20-foot flats and the Devil's Toothpaste dumping mechanism, we also needed to make a methane bubble fountain, a 3D bubble printer, a fire tornado, a slip and slide into a pool, and an epic bubble pit. And even though I brought my buddies, it was cool to see this turn into a modern-day small-town USA barn racing. If we needed extra hands or a piece of equipment, 10 neighbors were there like instantly to help us out. And so the morning of the big day, there was still a lot of last-minute scrambling, but things were looking pretty good. I'm seriously so nervous right now. I love pranks, and a surprise is like the most wholesome type of prank. So I haven't been able to sleep for days just thinking about this, like every last detail of how this will go down. And so with only 1 hour left, we did one final test run on everything. First, the Devil's Toothpaste. Perfecto! And then the 20-foot flask. For the real reaction, the peroxide would fill the whole bottom pool where John was standing, and then the troughs would dump over all the catalysts at once, sort of like this. And I should mention, Guinness only lets you choose one world record category per event, so we were going for the tallest, but when we did the math to scale up the flask to the arbitrary height I picked of 20 feet, and this is a true story, it was exactly 1 gallon less than the folks in Brazil who set the world record for the largest. And so don't mind me while I set these 2-gallon containers right here. And so as people started gathering for the surprise, I hit the hardened streets of Gridley, California to look for some kind of last-minute disguise. And so after a bit of warm-up, because these are all moves I can for sure do, and that's definitely me in the costume, the moment I had spent the last 8 months planning for had finally arrived. And the cover story for the kids is they were coming to tour a walnut farm of a distant relative. And to provide a good juxtaposition, I wanted him to feel as awkward as possible for this part. And then when we gathered for the picture, I snuck up right behind him and took off my mask. Alright, cool. What do you guys want to do next? What should we do? Sister Isla also had no idea any of this was going to happen. What up, buddy? How are you? Get in there. On the boat. What's up, dude? When I'm not making videos, I'm the Grizzly mascot. To really stretch out the surprise, I wanted him to think I was only there to drop in and say hi. So I had Dale suggest that I take the kids for a ride in his Doom buggy, to which I reluctantly agreed because, you know, I'm a busy guy. I could do it, like 15 minutes. You guys want to go for a razor ride? Is that cool? Let's get the whole crew. Your sister? I had about like half an hour, so it's good to meet you in real life. A single walnut grows in one of these, which is crazy to me. All of those are just a single walnut.
The fact that this is like possible.
As we pulled up the driveway, I stopped the
probably got a world record on
precisely
this.
created from a location where the view of the 20-foot flask was obscured by the truck. I heard it was your birthday, so I got something simple. Oh, tomorrow. Oh yeah, tomorrow. I'm 1 day off. So Fletch, I gotta come clean, buddy. You and I today are gonna set a Guinness World Record for the world's tallest elephant toothpaste.
Wait, what? Are you kidding me?
You are currently in a YouTube video. I want you to wave your 20 million of your newest friends.
Hello.
We're gonna put all the elephant toothpaste in a nut and just blast it in the air.
Yeah, I got 2 minutes.
I actually fully cleared my schedule.
Oh my god.
With the surprise fully and successfully executed, my heart rate finally lowered a bit, and I gave him a preview of all the cool stuff we had lined up for him. Then we headed to the backyard where he saw the setup and his mom.
You are devious.
Because at this point it had sunk in that there would be no Walnut Farm tour, and that her and I had been conspiring for months. For now, though, it was time to party.
We are castaways. Ahoy there, ahoy. We are castaways. We're stuck where we are. Night bopping, touch my head, on it. Like, come here, gotta do like this. Damn, don't drop my shit. Damn, you tryna dip on your trick. Beef ain't dead till dead on my foot. Till dead on my looks like a trick. Backdoor game trying to slap me a victim. Now you bopping on punch my head. You gotta do like this. Bop, bop, eat this. Oh my god. What the fuck is this? We're 34% of the way through. We're not even done. The fact that it's like humanly possible. I lied, Zoink could not get here. There's one could get anywhere before here.
Before we busted out the flaming bubbles or the bubble pit, we headed across the street to check out the world's first and therefore largest devil's toothpaste experiment.
Damn.
Science Bob came over and hooked us up with the slow-mo shot.
Science Bob. I thought you were supposed to fit through that gap. Oh, thank God. I thought you were supposed to go through the gap. I was gonna be so mad if I actually had to do that.
On rails, and we weren't quite fast enough with the pull. And for some reason I found this Wall-E level pathetically sad. You can see even in slow-mo, the reaction happens so incredibly fast. And I apologize for the gratuitous amount of slow-mo, but this has got to be the coolest thing I've ever filmed. And afterwards, it kept oozing this rainbow Play-Doh extrusion thing.
Oh. Hold up. Hold up.
It just looked like some kind of whimsical alien landscape. And as you can see over time, it just sort of deflates itself. And after that, we went back and ate some dinner and had some amazing and not at all creepy Army of Fletcher-faced cupcakes while the crew started prepping for the big world record finale. In the vein of cool stuff I would need to have at my birthday party if I was turning 13 years old, I of course had to bust out the Elon Musk flamethrower to light some fire bubbles. And finally, it was back to the front yard to top things off with the most amazing bubble hit ever. It was like belly flopping on a cloud.
Okay, come on.
And at this point, we realized it was taking way longer to fill up than we had calculated. So it was all hands on deck to try and pull this off before the sun went down. Oh, and this is cool. The bubble pit was dual purpose because once emptied, it served as the bunker to give a completely safe front row seat to whatever was about to happen. And so with the flash really close to being filled, Fletcher asked to take a very quick last-minute ride in the Tesla, so he never moved one.
This is like every
I know.
For the request, I gave him a quick ride.
And shoot. branch. Why isn't it? Boom. There we go. Okay. Anyways.
Remember our story, alright? 10 miles an hour tops. And so
That
the
was
official
close.
measurement drone in the air, our timing was perfect because we made it back just as they were sealing up the door for the big moment.
Okay, so this is hard-ass straight line right here.
Touring a walnut farm right now. And so after 8 months of planning and so much work by so many people, the coolest birthday present I've ever given anybody came down to this moment.
This is hard and speed hack. Like, it's not even funny. Okay, I'm recording. Because if I wasn't recording, I would have been so sad. I would have just given up right there. Because I was butting to Coop and end, and I wasn't recording twice. And I exited the level twice. And restarted the level once. So I just gave up. Dude, this is like so hard in speed hack. It's not even funny.
You were! I'm on the bottom! I came on the bottom and picked it up! Look at my truck! Let's go! What you guys think? It's floating from the bottom. Look at the truck, it's like buried next to it.
Poor Mark's poor truck. Damn. 36%. 36%. Backdoor can't try to solve me a victim. Now he about to not push my hips. I'm here gonna do it like this. Bop, bop, he did. Again.
And I'd just like to point out how great that flowing column looks with a perfectly selected outlet diameter. That is, until things got chaotic once the pressure changed drastically from the big rupture. We literally made a rocket ship. I mean, fundamentally, this is how rockets propel themselves. In actual failure mode wasn't really a floor strength issue as much as it was a stiffness issue. I knew our structure weighed over a ton, so I just didn't consider that the reaction could lift the whole thing 5 feet into the freaking air. And in NASA, that's what we refer to as a critical oversight. But honestly, this result was way more spectacular, plus it leaves room for improvement. And I should also note, even with all that, we still crushed the previous world record by more than double. And so as the sun went down, Science Bob lit up the fire tornado as a fitting end to the party. I also told Fletcher there was one more thing, which is that with a little help from Dale, he could use some heavy equipment to destroy our beautiful creation. And so with that, the party was all over. I'll never forget that. As they drove away, I thought about everything they've been through for the past year, and all the people that came together from all across the country to donate their time and energy for a kid they've never even met. And I might not vote the exact same as all of them, but for like 5 inspiring days, none of that stuff mattered. Whenever I find myself short on hope, I find it helps to put my phone down and choose to see the good parts of my fellow humans and be one of the good parts for my fellow humans to see. And so, Fletcher, thank you for being such a good example of holding on to hope amidst really lame circumstances. Happy birthday, buddy, and congrats on your new world record.
Shit.
11 feet. 11 feet. It's no secret that carnivals exist to make money, and to do that most effectively, they employ a bunch of little tricks to make you overestimate your chances of winning, in some cases to such an extent that it's basically a scam. So I spent a couple days coming out to this amusement park and observing and collecting data on all of the carnival games. So today I'm going to tell you which games are the biggest ripoffs and the scientific reasons why. I even answered how much the carnival actually pays for the prizes that people can win. But there is hope, because I'll also show you some legitimate tricks on how to win the most popular games, along with what happens when you show up to the carnival with your professional baseball playing buddy who happens to play for the New York Mets. Let's get started. Legitimate investigation needs to start with solid data as the foundation. So with the promise of unlimited churros, I had some friends secretly help me collect data on all 24 carnival games for a full day. Not only did we capture how many times each game was played, but we also recorded how many times people actually won each game and the prize they won. And so the first observation, based on the data we collected, is that this relatively small park collects $20,000 a day off their carnival games alone. So to help frame the rest of the observations, we'll divide the games into 3 groups. The first group, you've got the random chance games. Games like these, where no skill is involved and you're basically just rolling dice. And for the second group, you have your skill-based games like the basketball shot, or the milk bottle throw, or the basket toss game, where if you bring some kind of skill or strategy to the table, you can increase your chances of winning. And the final category are the games that are pretty much impossible. These ones are borderline scams. There are 3 games in this category that lots of people attempted and nobody won. And if they did win, like in the case of the ladder climb, it was for a very specific reason, which I will address later. So let's start by talking about
the ladder climb is
games.
easy. What are you talking about,
chance
Mark?
of winning here is pretty straightforward. You just divide the winning outcomes by the total outcomes, and you get a percentage. So in this case, there are about 1,600 total cups and 160 winning cups. So that's a 10% chance, or 1 in 10 throws will win. There are a ton of games similar to this, but the catch is they always use balls that are lightweight and have a high coefficient of restitution, meaning they bounce really well off things. This makes it much less likely the ball will end up where you originally aimed it. To illustrate this point, think how much easier this game would be with beanbags, which are heavier and don't bounce. With a ping pong ball, however, any imperfection in the aim of your original throw is magnified, which essentially randomizes things. If you have no skills, these are the games that you want to play. But don't get too excited, because even when you win, you lose. After some investigative work, I uncovered the source where they ordered their prizes from, and so even if you got lucky and won on your first throw, it would cost you $1.50 for a prize that cost them 45 cents. But you usually don't get it on your first try, so treating this as an expected value problem in statistics, it would take you an average of 5 times to land it in a yellow cup, which means you pay $7.50 for something that cost them 45 cents. In the case of the big prize, by landing it in the super rare gold cup, it's even worse. It would take you an average of 25 tries, which works out to $38 for something that cost them $6. Now I'll add, the number of people we observed winning matched up pretty well with these statistical predictions. Now let's talk about the second group, which are the skill-based games. And one of the most popular in this category is the basketball toss, with 825 plays the day that we observed. Now a standard three-pointer is 24 feet back on a rim that is 10 feet off the ground. But in this case, the line is 28 feet back on a rim that is 11 feet off the ground. Which is subtle, but if you have a deadly three-pointer locked in your muscle memory, you will tend to miss short, which is exactly what we saw a bunch. The reason they have the big sloped tarp in front is so that someone can't stand directly underneath the rim, where the height difference would be much more apparent. And here again, even if you go Steph Curry and drain your first $3 shot, you still lose, because they only paid 80 cents for that basketball. Here's another example of getting you to overestimate your chances of winning by making subtle changes, because the table is slanted up slightly, which will reduce the horizontal velocity of the ball after the bounce. So even if you dominated this game all through college, your previous experience almost becomes a handicap. This measure your pitch speed game is borderline fraudulent, as the radar gun registers about 15 miles an hour too slow. I know this because I measured the distance and then recorded it in high speed and counted the frames. This pitch was clocked at 69 miles per hour, but it's much closer to 84. For the milk bottle game, the only catch here is the balls are metal, and therefore heavier and more stable and harder to knock down than a typical bottle of that size. I've seen some carnivals, though, where these are bottom weighted, which would make them more steady and thus less likely to tip. To figure out which kind you have, you can ask to hold it, and the point at which it balances on your finger is the center of mass. The key winning this game is hitting them right here with a hard enough throw to introduce sufficient kinetic energy. But don't throw it too hard, because we notice those who threw their hardest usually sacrificed on accuracy. About 1 in 14 people knock this over on their first try. And then finally we have the basket toss game. And the key here is to have your first bounce hit on this front lip to reduce the kinetic energy enough that it won't bounce back out. About 1 in 10 throws will win on this game, according to our observations. And now this brings us to the final category of the near impossible games, and there are 3 of them. On this first one, the goal is to shoot out this red star completely with this automatic BB gun. So the best strategy is to basically shoot a circle around the star to cut it out. Not only are the guns not accurate or precise, but the bigger issue is that you start out doing really well because there's enough surrounding paper for the BB to easily rip through like this. But Newton's third law tells us that you can only push on something as hard as it can resist your push. So at the end, you have these barely supported pieces of the star that just move out of the way when the BB comes without building up enough stress to rip the paper. Out of 120 plays, we saw nobody win this game all day. This ring bottle game is also impossibly difficult. Again, it's a lightweight object that's really bouncy to encourage randomness, but the actual inner diameter of the ring is really close to the outer diameter of the bottle. This means that any throw besides this pretty much perfect one will send the ring bouncing away without settling in on the bottle. If you really want this pair, I suggest going on Amazon and getting it for $47. I literally can't tell you how much money this will save.
Buddy, y'all fuck with my wallpaper? It's the Cooper Circle. We got USKC.
Sort of an obvious
Yeah, we got USKC right
if
there.
you want the feeling of winning a game, do not stop at any booth that offers really big prizes. And for the final near impossible game, let me reiterate that as a carnival owner, the most lucrative games are those which the customers overestimate their chances of success. No game is a better example of that than the ladder climb. There's a subtle issue with this game that I think people realize, but don't internalize the significance. The ladder converges to be supported on the wall at 1 point instead of 2. If it was attached at 2 points, it's like crawling across a rope bridge, which is pretty easy. Let's pretend this is you, and if you shrunk all the way to your body down to the average location, you call that spot the center of mass, which we'll mark with this dot. And once again, we can double check this is the right spot because it balances perfectly on 1 finger. If you draw imaginary lines connecting the different support points, that creates an area. And as long as your center of mass dot is within that area, it's impossible to fall off. But as soon as your center of mass dot is even a little bit outside of the area of support, you start to rotate and fall off. And this is true no matter which way you orient it. If you've ever bent over to pick something up, you actually know this fact, whether you realize it or not. In this case, the region of support is between the back of your heels and the tips of your toes. When you reach over, you will naturally move your butt back to keep your center of mass in between those support points. If you don't believe me, try picking something up while standing against the wall so you can't move your butt back. At the very moment your center of mass gets beyond your toes, you start to tip over. In the case of the ladder game, you're only connected at 1 point. So even though it looks wide because the ladder runs, that area of support reduces down to a line. So if you don't keep your center of mass directly above that line, you will start to rotate and fall off. In other words, to win this game, you basically need to be able to crawl across a tightrope. And you might think, well, I can do a slackline, so I can do this. But a slackline is actually much easier for 2 reasons. You can flail your arms and legs out to adjust your center of mass to keep it directly above that line of support. And your center of mass is higher, increasing your mass moment of inertia, making you more stable. In the same way, it's easier to balance this umbrella when it's extended versus when it's collapsed. So while there are a few videos that say tricks like maintain 3 points of contact, they're all basically useless because keeping your center of mass directly above a line is just something you have to get a feel for, and that takes a lot of practice. But once you've had enough practice, this is the one game at the carnival that's basically all skill, so you can win every time and clean them out. Unfortunately, the carnival owners know this, which is why it's also the only game with this super lame caveat. So now that we were carnival experts, I called my buddy Matt Winnegar, who was recently just drafted to play baseball for the New York Mets, to maximize our chances of winning any skill game that had to do with throwing. So clearly Matt had a deadly lock on any throwing game. But basketball is more my game, so to finish off the day, I decided I would bring his ego back into check. But as it turns out, if you are a world-class athlete in one sport, you are a really, really good athlete in all sports. So in conclusion, you should play the games if you think they're fun. Just know the odds are heavily stacked against you, so if you lose, it's NBD. Unlike this guy, who lost his entire life savings playing cardboard games. And if your motivation is to gain the love and admiration of someone special via a stuffed animal like this, you don't need cardboard games to do that. Amazon works totally just as well. I just bought this for you, my lady. This is Dom. He's a friendly little robot that's super good at only one thing.
I don't know if they're talking
setting
about
up
the
a butt ton of
freaking ladder
dominoes
climb. That's
really,
easy.
really fast. It's taken 5 years to get to this point, but according to our initial tests, we have hopes that he might be more than 10 times faster than the fastest human. So today we're going to put him to the test, going head-to-head against the world's foremost domino expert, who unfortunately is a mere human. Then we're going to attempt a Guinness World Record, and he's going to try and fill this entire warehouse with a mural of $100,000. Setting up a domino mural that size would take a team of 7 builders 1 full week. Dom here
No
is going
way.
to attempt to do it by himself.
I didn't even see the blue pads. I was wondering what it was a duel, but damn.
You might have had a toy that looked like this, or even this custom robot Kimiko made that can drop 20 dominoes in a row. So isn't it a bit overkill to utilize an autonomous robot, a half-mile of Hot Wheels tracks, and a high-speed robotic arm? And I get it, because our designs look like this, where we just have a little room.
Pretty much just straight fly though, so it's not that hard. It's still hard as shit somehow.
Details with scale arise. Like for starters, just how much 100,000 dominoes is. So the robot will need to come and reload at least 1,000 times. But how exactly do you reload it? And how would it know exactly where to drop each domino and what color it should be? And how do you make it so reliable that it doesn't screw up once in 100,000 drops of a domino? A system to reliably tackle issues at scales like this is just going to be inherently super complex. Like 10 times more complex than my automatic bullseye dartboard, which to this point was probably the most complicated build on my channel. So after failing off and on for 3 years, I was doing a Q&A at Maker Faire, and I told the crowd if anyone wanted to help me with the brutal challenge, to hit me up afterwards. And to my absolute delight, 2 freshmen from Stanford and a software engineer from the Bay Area all took me up on the challenge. So I hired them, and 2 years later, here we were. Now, before I show you how it all works, I first wanted to put him in a head-to-head competition to see how good he really was. And for that, we need the undisputed heavyweight champion on YouTube for all things dominoes, Lily Heaven. Lily, you are known on YouTube as the Queen of Dominoes, right?
People do call me the Domino Queen.
And for very good reason. With over 1.2 billion views on her channel, you've almost certainly seen one of her incredible creations over her 12 years on the platform. She's so good, she's even got her own line of dominoes you can buy in stores. Okay, so here's the challenge, Lily. I want you to set up like 300 dominoes right now, and let's see how long it takes a human to make that. Okay, clock starts now. If you need me, Lily, just sitting here reading my newspaper. For you kids at home, a newspaper is like a boring iPad made from trees. That's actually pretty fast. Oh, disaster! The foibles of being a human. Okay, Lily, are you ready for this? I've seen enough. Actually don't know how to whistle. This is the Dominator.
Oh my god. Wow. I love the eyes.
A good set of googly eyes will go a long ways. Okay, boy. Let him down.
Ooh.
I suck at dominoes, Lily, but I'm good at engineering, which means I'm actually really good at dominoes.
Oh, that's
We
actually
can show
gotta be
off.
frame.
The
That's gotta be frame
Dominator
perfect,
double
right?
stacked the middle row for
There's
me.
no way
That
it's
is
not.
impressive. That is seriously impressive.
It's gotta be
This
frame
technique of
perfect
laying
and
down a towel
speed
of
hack.
300 dominoes at once was really the key that helped us crack the scale and reliability issues. And it's probably my favorite part about the Dominator. Besides his wiggly tail, of course. Here's Josh to explain more.
So these 3D printed funnels here, which allows us to drop all 300 dominoes all at once.
And the mechanism that drops those into the top of this tray, we'll show that in just a second.
And if we remove these funnels here, we can see that the dominoes are precisely placed in their locations. This allows us to place 300 dominoes exactly where we want them all at once.
And they don't fall out because of what we call the Connect 4 mechanism under here. But if we trigger the servo, then it slides that Connect 4 tray over and drops them all at once, making for some gratuitous, beautiful slow-mo shots.
Oh my god, we're not even 50% of the way done. We're probably
And so
an hour
as
into
this looks really
this.
cool. Obviously dropping from that height wouldn't be effective. So we lower the whole platform down on this ball screw, then set them right on the floor, which turned out to be incredibly reliable. So Dom took the W in round 1, but now it's time for the endurance round. Okay, first one to 10,000 dominoes wins. Lily, you ready?
I'm ready.
Dominator, you ready?
Don't pass me no bitch.
Start.
Oh my god. Wow. I already know.
Great. And to Lily's credit, she was actually insanely fast. Just not, you know, robot fast.
So unfair. So unfair.
On top of that, she had to handle a very large distraction with the emotional maturity of a 9-year-old. Yep. I think I'm doing pretty good. You're doing very good for a human. I'll give you that. Oh no!
Get out, get out.
That feels so much faster than it probably looks. How's Lily did?
Tired.
And so while Lily's output slowed down considerably, Dom's did not. And as you mentioned, we sometimes call him Dom, but that's just short for his legal birth name, which, as noted before, is Dominator. Because, you know, like Domino, Dominator, whatever. It all works.
Go to the bathroom.
Oh, Lily has to go to the bathroom.
I'm human, right?
Dominator, do you have to go to the bathroom? Didn't think so. 9,000 perfectly laid dominoes in a little over 2 hours. Actually, 9,001. We got a bonus domino out there in the middle of this field. May or may not have been on purpose, but now we can say it's actually over. It was a pretty clear result, and Lily, of course, was gracious in her defeat to the machine overlords. So all that was left to do now was to knock them down. That was satisfying. So we went head-to-head with the world's foremost domino experts and came out on top. And now it's time for the real challenge, to attempt a Guinness World Record and see how quickly we can fill this entire room with a mural of over 100,000 dominoes. All right, but you're not thinking about it. Godspeed, little fella. Godspeed. 300 dominoes down, 102,000 left to go. So we're about 6 hours in, but more importantly, we just got our first Roomba. It's beautiful. Back to work, Dom. And the best part about working really hard for a few years is that the last 24 hours are super relaxing. And with that tile placed, we are officially halfway done with over 50,000 dominoes put down in just a little bit over 12 hours. And Dom, whoa, easy boy, just showing no signs of slumping down. So this is a good point to explain the rest of the robotic system. It all starts over here with the loading station that Josh and John Luke spent a lot of time optimizing. The dominoes are loaded by color on these conveyor belts, and then a KUKA robot arm grabs them and places them in one of 300 loading chutes made from
Oh my god, dude, what is this
of
timing?
Hot Wheel tracks. And you can
Bro, you
load
gotta
them
click
directly with the
at the
robot
first
arm, but this is
click,
much faster
so-
because he doesn't have to wait. He just comes in here to the docking station and the lower platform slides over,
1400
so the bottom
attempts.
layer of 300 dominoes gets loaded up all at once. And we also had a backup loading system using a tray, just in case at any point the robot arm wasn't working. Besides the Hot Wheels tracks, there's a ton of 3D printed parts throughout the build that we either printed ourselves, or if we were in a pinch, my friends at Matter hacked us helped us out. So that's the loader. Now how about the Dominator himself?
What if I just
How does Dom know exactly where to go in the room to drop a domino?
So we pre-programmed the route for all 102,000 dominoes, so the robot knows exactly where to go right from the start. Then, as we're driving around, we use these indoor GPS
I might have to use no
to
clip.
track the position of the robot so it's roughly where it is.
I feel like I have to use no clip.
Closer to the place the dominoes need to drop, we use these IR cameras that are tracking
I might
markers
have
around
to, like,
to make sure the robot lines up perfectly every single time.
So the vision from the beginning is that we set Dom up, we turn off the lights and leave.
up right there.
Come back the next morning and you got like a full
Yeah, and look, you're gonna go fully into that spike.
Just fine.
Alright, now how about these super cool wheels?
So these are called Omni wheels, and they're awesome because they let you translate it any direction you want. So this is way better than like your car, where if you needed to move a little bit to the left or right, you have to make like a 5-point turn. So with these guys, you can move any direction you want to adjust for small corrections in the placement of the dominoes. These wheels are powered by these clear paths and brushless easy servo motors. These are like the gold standard with speed and accuracy. They allow us to slide the robot around by just a couple millimeters at a time, which is super useful for trying to make real fine adjustments for placement dominoes.
Now obviously that's just the uppermost tip of the iceberg tip, but Dom's brain is over 14,000 lines of code, all from scratch. So if you want to go way deeper into the technical details, I'll put a link in the video description where I'll always put it all in. Now back to finishing the second half.
Okay, wait. That might actually be close. Boom. Oh man. I didn't hold enough.
So the Dominator has been running just under 24 hours, and this is a bit of a momentous tile here. It's a me, Mario! $102,300 dominoes are on the floor successfully. This is the last 300. I think this is a moment. You guys get back over here. Josh and Alex, let's observe it. Don't blow this, Dom. You got it, buddy. Finish strong.
Dom is such a Chad.
We got it. Just over 24 hours to lay all the dominoes,
Boom.
gentlemen.
Come on, just
So now with everything set up, the final
make it
critical
right
step
over that.
was to knock him down. You can see John loading in the Mario pipes because they were going to be our trigger mechanism. The way that works is we've got 4 Hot Wheel cars glued to the bottom of this platform that rides in these parallel Hot Wheels tracks. Then you slap a green sliding shell on top, and a motor at the end pulls the cart along the tracks with the string. Then the shell contacts the lever on each pipe like this, which causes them to roll forward down the ramp, hopefully into the dominoes. Okay, now I'm nervous.
okay,
I
so
wasn't
basically,
nervous, now I'm nervous. Okay.
so
3, 2, 1, go.
okay, I have to no clip it. That's humanly impossible.
Awesome. Oh, holy cow. Whoa. Oh my gosh. And in the end, Dom was 50 times faster than a skilled domino builder, and he got himself a world record to show for it. Although, to be fair to us organisms, it was in the non-human category. And at that point, after 5 years, we were just so relieved to be done, we got a little carried away celebrating the champ with an appropriate send-off. What do we do now?
We're about to clean it up.
Oh, there we go. A cleanup robot.
bits again?
No. I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's go no clip. No clip. No clip. But this shit isn't possible. That's the closest it can get. Here we are. And this is where we need to take off no clips again.
What?
Nothing, I wasn't talking to you.
Look, I'm sure Jesse is a good driver, but you already got a...
Ooh, nah, you should turn on Jesse on Disney Plus, mother.
Don't have to.
Sometimes we be at the mall.
Oh,
see
we
a little
don't?
kid talking to his mom, and he's like,
I hate you, Lord Jack. I haven't asked her for login back.
You're out of your mind,
So pirate it.
Mr.
No, I'm joking.
Gilmore.
Don't do that, that's illegal. Don't be an Uncle James.
What is that? The Legend of the Sandman, the Giver of Dreams?
Sweet dreams are made of you. And all to disagree. Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody looking for something. Somebody want to do something.
My mom always said, if you don't like where you are, just picture where you want to be.
We are not watching Wonder. Wonder is such a goofy movie. I was about to say, if the game crashed, I would be pissed.
I can't wait till Halloween.
It's such a goofy movie.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it before.
It's based off of that book, Wonder. Have you never heard of it?
No.
Oh.
Oh, but if you've already seen it, never mind. I would say, yes, Owen Wilson and Julia Roberts, though.
If you don't like where you
Because
are,
it's old.
2017.
It was a little boy. It's not hard.
Yeah, it's not new.
It's open. It's like
Red World.
Does Forrest Gump go in the comedy or drama section?
Christy.
They canceled That's a Drag? Why? That show's a big hit. What kind of TV network canceled a big hit? It's insane. They're not even gonna...
I really do want to bite into the bone. You want to zobble the bone? Take a bite from one end, give it to me. I'll take a bite.
That is just like such pixel,
Honey,
pixel perfect.
Are those condoms? I just want you to be safe, that's all.
how many times do I have to tell you?
Alex and I are just friends, so we don't need condoms. We definitely don't need 500. Because we're not an army. Big stop.
500? What are they gonna make a population of a city? Are they gonna like repopulate a city? Repopulate a small village. Oh yes.
All right,
you
Mr.
see.
Know-it-all. What do you call this?
We are not.
So close. No, it's alien slime. And guess where I found it? In the...
Because being with the plastics is like being famous.
Yes.
So Bailey's her.
Didn't she work with you? Who? That girl who disappeared a few weeks ago. Wait. Wait.
53% of the way through. What? No.
Don't move! What? Bulls? That's terrible eyesight, but they can sense motion. You're thinking of Jurassic Park. No! I saw a nature documentary starring David Attenborough. You're thinking of Richard Attenborough from Jurassic Park.
No.
Vamonos, they're telling me to run. They're telling me to run. If you run, you die!
I'm so glad that I'm gonna be able to just chillax and watch. Holy crap. What is this? This is terrible. How have I spent 1,600 attempts on this? What the hell? 1,600 attempts in an hour and a half. I don't even know.
Oh, fuck you, you gotta get off your screen at some point.
I haven't even been on this all day until I came out.
1,600 attempts, that's enough.
Attempts on a level? It's really not. If you're gonna die every 0.1 seconds because the level is humanly impossible.
Rather than face a world without each other.
The level is literally impossible. It's on a list of levels called the Impossible Levels list. And it's top 106. Farmer boys, farm food ain't fast food. I don't know why that sounded good in my head. A big ass onion ring the size of my head.
But then,
You only
in
get like
1907, just outside of Cairo,
Yeah, but it's the size of my head.
unearthed 2 of them. Some say the third egg was never found. Others claim it was discovered, but just as quickly
What is this,
lost,
like Jurassic World?
be seen again. Join us as we explore that very question. What happened to Cleopatra's lost egg? Who may hold it in their possession?
Indiana Jones?
Something about Randy Reynolds. It has, I don't know, it has Ryan Reynolds and it has Rock in it.
Over 2,000 years. Cleopatra's first egg is on display for all to see.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. Okay, yeah. That means it's a good movie. Ryan Reynolds.
Both of them.
The Rock is mid. Like, no, he's a good actor, but...
He's funny.
Yeah, he's funny. Ryan Reynolds is better, though.
Okay, well, they're both in it.
I know! So I said it's obviously a good movie because Ryan Reynolds is in it. Are you really gonna have the argument of who's better, The Rock or Ryan Reynolds?
I would just say they're both in it, so it should be funny.
What's more funny is this argument.
What's an argument?
It's just funny, mother. I'm not... It's a joke argument, okay? Damn, you crashed straight into it.
What do you want to eat from there other than onion ring?
Just a regular boiga. Or the chicken strip box.
Boiger?
Wait, what's that? Wait, is that an actual thing?
No.
A boiger? Because no, farmer boys, so... I was thinking, wait, is that an actual thing? But... It's gotta be, like, so close to possible.
You don't want to order off of fucking DoorDash because... No, well, you didn't pay attention to the stuff that they put.
Boing, boing, boing.
Another call.
cowboy stuff.
Don't worry, I left my chaps at home.
You sure about this?
I know how he thinks. He's gonna do it today.
Yes. All right then.
Oh, we got more of this straight fly.
I'm gonna
see how long this is going on.
Don't test me, director.
You should listen to him.
And who are you, the bodyguard?
This is Special Agent John Hartley of the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit. He's a consulting profiler who specializes in art crime.
You don't look like a profiler. Yeah, I get that a lot.
41 hours ago, Agent Hartley received credible intelligence that the most wanted art thief in the world, a man named William Bruce, intends to steal the egg of Cleopatra today.
Who provided you this information? Bishop.
You cannot be serious.
That's what? Wait.
Concept is someone to blame when people like you and your friends law enforcement are too incompetent to solve the case.
Listen to me, unless we stop it, that egg is going to be
And I'm not even playing along with the shit at the beginning.
The linking pack is legit.
Okay, so back to this.
After catching your life.
Now, if you excuse me, Inspector, I believe I owe your supervisor a call.
1900 Rugrat plays Minecraft.
The teen years can be rocky.
You didn't even tell me. You want a burger or you want chicken strips?
Chicken strips.
Luckily, Talkspace online therapy for teens is covered
That's
by
real healthy. Chicken strips and
my
onion
daughter
rings.
misses her dad, and she still has
Man, Farmer Boys isn't healthy to begin with. Burger would be the same amount of unhealthiness.
So she can turn to her Talkspace.
Yeah, at least has veggies on it.
Whatever's on
Fine, I'll get a burger.
Get started at Talkspace.com/military.
Probably just an edit of it, sense. Father's only one.
They also have a grilled chicken club. They have bacon turkey melt.
Right there.
No, wait a moment. What do you think you're doing?
Relax, it's fine. That's what he's doing.
How many times does this go on?
Seal the room, now!
1900 Rugrats just doing whatever it takes.
Ready for the exit!
How long has it been going on? Okay, only an hour and 20. Oh, it's only been an hour and 20. And saying only an hour and 20. My streams usually go on for 10. Or no, my streams usually go on for like a half hour. Saying only an hour and 20 is crazy, but an hour and 20 doesn't feel like that long for the amount of time I've been playing this level.
Why is Farmer Boy so expensive on DoorDash? You might just end up leaving and going in person. Ridiculous.
You might need to give me a bit then.
I'm hungry.
I'm not wasting 1,500 attempts and getting through 60% of this level.
You can't stop it and start over, like, or resume it when you come back?
No, I really can't.
I don't get how you can get to a level when you're done with one attempt, stop, and then go back to it. They can't make you do 30,000 attempts in order to finish a level. That's fucking ridiculous.
What are you, like, mad at that I've spent 1,700 attempts.
I'm not waiting. I want to eat.
And I'm not ending my stream either.
Stream? You're not streaming out here. Shut your fucking stream off. You're not allowed to when I'm around.
I'm lying.
Shut it off now.
I'm not. And I'm not saying that oh my god, I don't have a stream on. I'm lying about that.
Get off your fucking game.
Why? I can't.
I'm going to eat, and then if you're not, you can eat whatever's in the fucking fridge. Well, pizza, whatever you fucking want then.
Why are you like this to me?
Did you been on your game all fucking day?
It's been an hour and 20 minutes. What do you mean all day?
You haven't been up for just an hour and 20 minutes. What have you been doing all day?
Watching TV. In my room.
You hear that? You're the slow ball guy that's been chasing me. You're the bad. You're American. What brings you home? Gelato, Coliseum. Oh, it's beautiful. Yes. What's that?
So I don't know what you're talking about all day.
One chase though, right? Lots of twists and turns, hijinks. You would end up like this. I did. Fun's over, Nolan. Give me the bag, turn around, put your hands behind your back, and no rest.
Bro, I'm literally, the UFO is literally touching the portal.
First question, where'd you get that jacket? It's a saving piece. Somewhere there's very nude cow spring. And number two, on the whole arresting me thing, I totally get it. You know, baby did that thing. No, but you don't happen to have a badge, something. Tucked away. Turtleneck. Do you?
I don't need to show you my badge because I've got a gun.
Here's the thing that you're putting me in a little pickle with this because without proper identification, how do I know who you are? And for all I know, you could be the bad guy, and I could be the other bad guy.
You're right. I'm the bad guy.
I should have been given the badge before I shoot you in the mouth. I'm going to give this to you. Now, just so you can see this. For the record, none of this feels good.
No. There we go. I thought I died. And no, Mother, I don't think you understand what I'm doing. It's not... The level's humanly impossible. Or, like, it's possible to get through in slow-mo.
So I shouldn't have to wait for you to do something humanly impossible in order to eat!
You don't understand... Oh my god, you're not understanding nothing. I'm botting a level. I'm recording... So basically, I'm getting through the entire level... Fully legitimate, except... No, never mind. But... Chicken. 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 Okay, wait. Oh, that was a close one.
Your 88 sounds good too.
Check how long the wait is, though. Because if it's gonna be like an hour-long wait, then... Because last time we took a bit. Ooh. Oh. That was a really close one. I hate ship timing. Stop. Stop with the ship timing. Oh my god, I hate this. I had my hopes up that I would do this in the next 20 minutes. But with all the shit timings in this level. Like, with this amount, I could have just gotten the world record on the level. Playing Theory of Everything 2 in the background? Nah, I hear theory and everything too. I hear toe too. I'm not even lying. Oh my god, wait, is this part like bug 2 for me? No. Okay, wait, that might be it. Oh man. You gotta do like small like a micro clip to get a road that. So let's not talk about how I'm partly going into the hitbox and I'm still dying to a hitbox that's not there.
What can I say? I like to myself.
No clip. We have to no clip. Like there's no possible way to do this.
That's cute. People wanting 18 separate countries, I get to choose from
Yeah, we're not doing this. We're doing the entire thing in speed walk. I'm not in no clip. I'm not doing that. It looks accurate enough. The only part I no clip besides this is the part earlier. The rest has been fully legit. So that straight fly is possible right there. Same with this. You can barely make it in there. I don't know if I did that legit though, but that's possible right there. Okay. So turn off no clip and re-enter legitimacy. How is this a 4-minute level? And I have spent an hour and 20 minutes in one run of a playthrough through the level. I didn't realize how much of a struggle botting was.
Only do it for the thrill and not the money. See? I love the money. I'm not done yet. Just get to the good part. Thank you. Welcome. There are a lot of thieves out there who claim to only do it for the money. That's not unusual. But what is unusual is the risk that you take. The chances. It's as though you want to get caught so you can escape. Just to prove yourself all over again and prove that you are better than everybody else and that you're worthy. Wow. Your father's love.
Okay, so what the hell is that?
When I go to period 8?
I mean, yeah, as long as it's not that long of a wait like last time.
I didn't even wait that long. We waited like maybe 20 minutes tops.
I'd say half hour. Or maybe it just felt like a half hour because I didn't have my phone and I was bored.
Quit nibbling on my butt cheek!
Wait.
I think he was chewing on his paw. But my butt cheek was, or he was licking his paw.
That sounds so wrong to say. Like.
Yeah, well, he's licking my butt!
Ew.
It feels weird!
Weird dog.
There's no chance of that being the same.
Caruso, stop! Caruso, stop trying to get some.
No, he's licking on his paws.
Like, wait, what did I do? Hi, Rue.
Hi, PT.
PT's just
He's
happy.
jealous because he hasn't gotten to lay with me. Because Rue's taking up all the space.
Can the last, like, 50% be an end screen? Can the last 30% be an end screen like Amethyst? Please, game? Hi, PT.
PT? PT Potamus?
Hi, PT. Hello. So is it not just gonna... Boom, boom. Boom.
Stop!
All right, we're good.
Hi there.
So Melissa,
Leaving
your
town.
school therapist, is
Wasn't
changing
there.
to Mondays, and she's gonna see you from 11 to 11:30 on Mondays.
Well, I was gonna ask you the same thing.
Okay, so there's no way to skip Mondays anymore.
Nope. You didn't have a way to skip Mondays anymore, anyways.
Oh, this.
No, from what you said the other day when I was in the car with Papa.
What?
The other day, what you were talking about in the car with Papa.
Oops.
Just give us a big jacket.
Yeah, I'll admit this is my
No,
first
yeah,
week.
I don't think it's. You need to go to school on Mondays.
2 hours ago. Someone whose official
Why are you yelling at me?
solely by written
Because
instructions
that wasn't even the conversation you were supposed to be listening to.
with the AU at Quantico.
I was in the car with Papa.
You weren't supposed to be listening to
I
it.
wasn't supposed to be in the car.
As impossible as a John
To my knowledge, you were sitting with your therapist. Papa didn't say you were in the car. So now I'm mad at Papa.
We were on the drive home.
Agent.
He clearly told you that I did good, and we left, and he told you that I was right next to you.
Whatever. No, it's not a.
Someone's behind this. Bishop maybe even moved himself.
It was never an
You
option.
are, maybe you're not, but until I figure it out, I'm going to keep you where I can find you. Normally, I'm not a vindictive person, but well, I trusted you and hurt my feelings, so I picked someplace extra special. Speak of black site, kind of the land due process forgot. You're under arrest, Agent Hartley.
Boss, look at me. Look at my eyes. You do this.
I don't believe you.
What is this timing? Goofy ass timing. It's so goofy. That is so weird. That is so everything that I hate. What in the orbit timing? Actually, no, that one jump has to be like harder than the entirety of orbit. Or it's just impossible, so that's why we know it. I'm getting lazy. For the next 70% of the, or for the next 30% of the level. Hi, Rue. Hi, Rue. So wait, no, we need to restart that.
Right, you should wash up first.
Stop there, boom. What? Oh my god, I'm gonna kill you.
Bishop must have seen you coming from a mile away. But you trust that you're selling me out. They're gonna come without gaining the much trust first. That's page 1.
I know how confidence scheme works. Trust me.
You do now, that's for sure. So the same mystery you that we have is the same one who framed you. That seems like a bit of a coincidence, don't you think?
This is not a coincidence. This is a plan. One move, the bishop took out her lead competitor and her lead investigator. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Hey, 2 birds, 1 egg. It's kind of a layup. Even Post Malone gets it. This is farm to table, right?
What came first, the chicken or the
Why would
egg?
the bishop go to the trouble of framing me?
Obviously, the egg just like randomly spawns in. Randomly, because random, and then random, and then I don't know.
That's not the price for just 1 egg. Here's the deal. You ever
brings this Egyptian billionaire all three banks by the night of his daughter's wedding. It's all
So he just copied and pasted earlier and then pasted. He just copied earlier and then pasted it into the level. Like what in the world? Hi, Rue.
I like money.
I see you.
So how does that work?
Oh, are you trying to hide? Oh.
Never been found. Not gonna lie. That's a bit of a problem. It's gonna take a second.
Are you sniffing my computer?
Alright, well, Euro
Hi, Rue.
says that the second egg
Good
from
doggy.
international arms to the Bloodshadow. I know all about
I want
this.
to.
His dad tried
I want to pet you. Come here.
Nobody can stand
Oh, I
this
could
stuff.
do it. Wait, can I not do it? I could do
Apparently it left quite the impression on him. Strangely,
Wow.
folks, it became sort of a hobby for him. He's a big fan. Soda Voce is super scary, but it's not about having a good time. There's a masquerade party over there for his top buyers, and I probably have a tiny penis villa in Valencia. Gun
What?
runners are touchy and undirected.
Ryan Reynolds,
So the
no.
shut thing takes the edge off for everyone. Now, what none of these evil 1%ers know is that upstairs, locked away in a secret vault, Dr. Shirtless has in his possession an ancient piece of pricelessness that I like to call Cleopatra's second egg. And it's just begging for me to steal it. I'd be on my way there right now if you weren't such a super cop.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I know what you're doing. Don't do that. I know what you're doing.
I'm not doing anything.
Listen to me.
These guys here, they find out. Seal. This is a roll for them. Convicted murderers and toilet vodka enthusiasts. We gotta mention the thing. It's not a cop.
Niet? Polizia!
Bitch.
Guys, Niet Polizia, not a cop! This man is not a cop! Alright, get that through your thick skulls right now! He's a profiler for the FBI, which does fall under the umbrella of law enforcement, but not a cop. It's similar, but it's not the same thing. It's a complicated backstory. Alright, this is our good friend, Special Agent John Hartley. Let's give him a warm welcome to the prison, guys.
Well, you're cooked. Show trajectory.
Thank you, guys.
Wait, is that what I think it is? It's like the area that shows up of where you're gonna go. Then you'll die there. Then there's just like this easy.
What's that?
Chandler, the later we go, the later the wait's gonna be, I'm sure. So, I need you to hurry up and get the fuck off your computer.
No, you know what? No. We're gonna rewind back. Now that's gonna be a tough orb time right there. So we're not gonna do that fully legit. Just for cheers. To where it looks good enough.
Okay, look. I don't want to do the whole prison fight thing with you. So, please, no fight. Let's just go back and finish our meals.
Really, your big skull, dumbass. And he's not a cop. Must go under the law enforcement, but not a cop.
You don't know me, but I'm not doing other people bullshit.
Thank God you're here!
Must get me drunk, but you watch me, right? Okay, relax.
Why did they take away Ryan Reynolds? What did Ryan Reynolds do to get taken away? What did he do?
Hello, boys. Oh my God. Wow. So where the captain? You might benefit from a little career change. I mean, I don't think runway, but definitely original catalog requires.
She's delicious. What do you know?
Shit, Nick.
2K? Okay.
Such a thrill to be face to face with the second best entrepreneur around. Oh, well,
Yeah, you got lucky because early on, you know, you can't name one time in the past year you beat me. I was thinking, your shoot failed. Took on That's like I say. Nobody needs to run the hours because it's a completely unannounced show. You can have excuses or results.
What are we doing here? Come on.
Have a chat. First of all, Agent Hartley, please accept my sincerest apologies for the whole mix-up wrong. You see, after I stole the Egg Valley, I then made an $8 million deposit into an account registered in New York. Then all I had to do was sit back and wait for Gus to take the bait. A few clever keystrokes and a well-timed call intercept. FBI your director's office.
Is that Indian SML?
Bye-bye, Agent John Hartley.
Oh, hello, Daddy. Daddy, I don't want to do it.
Shut up. You deleted
I got a pencil in my nose, Daddy. I got a pencil in my nose, Daddy.
I have the first tag in my possession in less than 48 hours. I'm going to have the second one.
Too bad for you. Nobody knows what the third day is. I don't know what she's talking about.
Your cellmate here knows exactly where the third egg is.
She's lying. I do not know where the third egg is, I swear to God. Yes, that is news. Gosh, that was me, I didn't say that.
So when are you going to tell me about the third egg?
I was never going to tell you about the third egg. Because you're a cop.
My offer to you, Mr. Booth, is this. Tell me where the third egg is. I'll get you out of here in no time to see it.
Rock hard pass.
I'm sorry you come to business. Well, perhaps a few more days in here with the prospect of thousands of time.
It's not, definitely not me dying that much. That's totally just an affecting the level.
Oh, and when I do, the offer's going to be 5%.
Yeah, right.
Bye. Don't answer too much.
Hey guys. Look, if we work together to catch her, I can do things to the bishop you can't do.
No need to be disgusting.
No.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, lift your neck.
I mean, put her in prison for life. When that happens, guess who becomes the #1 artist in the world?
What rule? You have been stuck to my side for like 12 hours.
Oh, come here.
I love you. I do. I love you. You literally have been spooning me all day.
I think I should beat sweater weapon. Oh no, I already have them. Stupid.
Doing this together or not?
We'll add a chemical to perfume.
Well, that's a big yarn.
Good old-fashioned glycerin.
So the big yarn. How are you so tired?
How is that such a big yawn for a puppy who's been sleeping all day?
It's an adjustment.
I think you've been sleeping all day.
I mean, no, I yawn after I sleep too.
Well, his yawn's automatically gonna be big because he has a big mouth.
True.
Oh, he makes me chubby. You are very sweet.
And he has like the thinnest snout for no reason.
It's best for sniffing.
It's the actual plan part, the most important part of the plan. How do people make that?
Huh. See, just because I have a skinny head doesn't mean anything.
Oh no, I'm just saying he has the skinniest snout for no reason. And the longest snout.
I hate to break it to you, but you're not a complex case.
Because bloodhounds use their big long snooters to sniff.
Or version.
Ruru, don't you have a big long snooter?
Long version.
He's so sweet. Ah!
Dad thought I stole his watch. He thought that piece of it.
can make that.
He asked me if I stole. Told him I didn't. He said he knew that I had. He didn't speak to me.
Let me go outside. Will you let them outside? Oh!
Are you dying? Like, are you?
We're almost to
I don't think you're okay.
Will you let Rue out, please?
Utter silence.
Rue doesn't want outside.
Yes, he does.
Rue outside?
One night he
Rue, go!
and he sits down at the dinner table.
So he did.
And there it is. There's the water. There's the watch.
Alright.
On his wrist.
I need to beat Kingdom of Miracle. Oh, no. Are you not gonna get dressed?
I'm in clothes.
How was your dance?
Get dressed. That will give me a little bit of extra time.
I'm wearing this.
And I should be good then.
Huh?
I should be good then.
You should be good. What do you mean?
There should be enough time for me to finish this once you get dressed real quick.
All I'm gonna do is put a bra on. I'm not changing my shirt.
Well, shit.
I'm kidding.
Well, shit. My shit stinks like shit.
Sorry about all that. No, it's alright. It's a valuable lesson.
I darn shit myself. Sorry for the rush, but...
But you're old, man. Don't talk about it.
Don't turn around, because I'm gonna put my bra on behind you.
Don't you dare!
Just don't turn around. Better not have the camera on that thing. Nope. Shut your fucking camera off.
Don't do it behind me!
I'm not gonna do it in front of you!
Then go to
fucking
the...
get off your computer and leave!
Then go to the bathroom. I can't! This is taking me way too long.
Is this really recording what I'm saying too?
No. This is a face cam.
I'm fucking leaving! Get the fuck off your computer!
Why are you so angry at me? Darn shit myself. 84% of the way through. This should take me or 85% of the way through. This should take me another, what, 3 minutes?
Step 2, sign ahead. Where'd you get that?
Oh my god, we have a mini cube maze. Please say you're joking me.
What's your plan, son of a bitch?
This is the most evil thing I've played ever.
What are you doing? What's step 3?
This is the only way to do it.
Step 3.
Well, GG's, I guess, because whatever, the last 10% is probably just a cube maze, so.
You first.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Wait.
I'm not waiting. I'm gonna go eat by myself.
I have 4% left in this damn level. Oh, please say the bot worked. Restart.
Cool. Now we're done. Let's go.
Save. Load. Realm of Original. Play. Okay. Wow, there we go. Thought it's not very good, but okay. I finally bought it, this damn level!
Don't call me here.
You're mean. You know that? You're really mean.
I'm not mean. I'm hungry.
Can you fly a helicopter? Does the back
Root.
of your head look like a huge penis?
What?
The answer is yes!
Hold on. Let me end this. So now I'll have that seat. Yeah! Oh my god, that took forever. It took so long. So long. Oh my god, how long